Hi guys, Phil McGilvray, founder of Grandma's Jars Budgeting and passionate budget coach. In this tutorial, I want to answer a question that I got from Pete during the week. And Pete was asking, what is the most common area of overspending? Now, that's a really good question, and of course there's a depends in there. But for most people, and especially most people in the 18 to say 35 to 40-year-old category, it is the everyday spending. Everyday spending is typically things like groceries, petrol, entertainment, takeaway, bought coffees, bought lunches, dining out. This is the area where we tend to waste so much money. Because it dribbles through our fingers in $10, $20, $5, those daily coffees and the bought lunches and the takeaway a couple of times a week. It's amazing how quickly all those little bits of money add up. Now, one of the things to help you get on top of this is firstly to recognize, well, how much am I really spending on these things? And so what I get all of my clients to do, and this is an absolute must do, is to spend 30 days recording every dollar you spend. Every dollar. Because what that helps you do is identify where all of the little bits of money actually go. Now, you'll be shocked, and I can absolutely tell you that at the end of the month you'll go, whoa, I had no idea I was spending that much money on coffee or lunches or whatever it might be. But the reality is most young people, and most young couples particularly, literally spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars more than they think on these sorts of things. And it's amazing that by putting the right strategies in place, you can actually pull back that spending significantly without ever really noticing it. And this is the feedback that I get from most of my young clients is that, wow, we've cut back our spending. We're spending $500 less on these things than we did previously, and we don't even notice it. And the reason that's the case is because you didn't notice you were spending it in the first place. It just dribbled through your fingers. You got no value for it. Yeah, the convenience, but you didn't notice you were spending as much as you were spending. So by putting a boundary around it, all of a sudden you naturally start to spend less, and typically you don't notice it too much. And at the end of every month, there's an extra $500 that you've got in savings. Now, the one strategy that I recommend that you do to manage this money, and I get all of my clients to do this, is to isolate your everyday spending. Now, your everyday spending will typically make up about, at least half of all your transactions in a month. Half of your transactions. So what I recommend you do is actually isolate your everyday spending money into a separate bank account with an ATM access to it. So what that does then is not only, hopefully you've got a budget that says, well, this is how much I allocate to my everyday jar, this is how much I spent, and this is how much I got left. A good budget will tell you that. But what also helps reinforce this is having a bank account that on the first of every month you allocate from your central working account money to your everyday account so that you have a set amount to spend. And then you have the physical boundary of your bank account, which says, this is all I've got left. And if I get to the end of this money, bad luck, it's baked beans and mashed potatoes for the rest of the month. Now, of course, you've got to start with a realistic amount to start with. But if you do that, then this becomes a very powerful strategy for managing your money. So basically, all of your income comes into your central working account. All of your income. Now, most of your money will stay in this central account, accumulating for your future expenses. But, as I said, on the first day of every month, you allocate your everyday spending money to your everyday jar, which then means that that's all you've got, you've isolated it, and it helps you manage that money so that you know exactly where you stand at any point in time. If this is the one thing you do to manage your money, it will save you hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So there you have it. The most common area of over-expenditure, Pete, is everyday spending for sure in our culture. And The best way to manage it to ensure you're not overspending there is to isolate that money, to identify what it is realistically, and then to isolate it into its own separate bank account on the first of every month. Now this is what we do at Grandma's Jars. We are passionate about what we do. We know everything there is to know about budgeting, money management and getting out of debt. We've been doing it for 15, 20 years. We know what works, we know what doesn't, and that's what we are sharing on this YouTube channel. So please subscribe today, join us, ask questions. If you've got questions, please leave questions in the comment section and we will happily answer them in one of our future Q&A YouTube videos.